Hi, and welcome to the final edition for 2012 of Bucco Banter on Herald-Standard.com. I'm your host, Rob Burchianti. With me, Herald-Standard.com sports writer Jonathan Guth. The season's over for the Pirates. For a while, it looked like we might be doing these shows into the postseason, but that was not to be. They finished 79 and 83, and I don't know, John, what's your take on it as you look back right now?
I think it's a growing point if they can keep, move it into next year and keep that momentum. The one thing, though, is can they finish? And the last 2 years, the answer is no. Probably one of the worst collapses you'll ever see. I think they set a record, the first team to finish under 500 that was 16 games over.
Yep, setting records like crazy. 20 straight years of losing, and then the first team to do that. It says more than you have to say more than just say, because Clint Herald said all year, "Well, finish, want to finish, want to finish." Well, he said it, but the words didn't really sink in apparently, because the collapse was almost identical to last year when the team fell apart. Just looking real quick at a recap of the stats. Hitting wise, it was all McCutchen. He led the team in runs, hits, doubles, homers, RBIs, walks, stolen bases. He hit 327. As I predicted last show, he gagged down the stretch and didn't win the batting title because all the Pirates were falling apart down the stretch. So you knew that was going to happen. The one category he didn't lead in was Alex Presley led the team to triples with 7. McCutchen had 6. I'll say this about McCutchen. He faded last year, and he didn't fade as much this year, but he did in the last 30 games. He hit 257, so that's why he didn't win a batting title. He fell off too, although he did. The team would have been lost completely without him. Pitching-wise, I guess it's pretty much A.J. Burnett was the guy all year, right?
A.J. Burnett was the guy, and I said pretty much when we started that I thought he would be the guy. And 16 and 10, but he did not fare as well. I believe in his last 9 starts, he only won 1 game. And 3.51 ERA. So, still great numbers.
I wanted to give you this stat on Burnett because I know you love A.J. Burnett. In the last 6 starts, he was 1-5, but his ERA was 3.03. So, it really wasn't his fault that he didn't get any wins down. I mean, it did not hit at all. The hitting completely fell off. So I will give him credit that he was clearly their best pitcher.
And he was a leader. I think he really has that. You want to be a winning team. He's a winner. Pretty much everywhere he's gone, he's won, except the Pirates, at least this year. And I just think the rest of the guys. I mean, McDonald just completely. He didn't even have anything. They had to even take him out of the rotation. And I don't understand all these spot starts and then you go into Atlanta, the last game. I know 80 wins doesn't really mean too much. Now, Burnett, I think, did his job, but losing to just a team that was basically just kind of like practice game for them.
Yeah.
And it's like you said to me, it's like every time there was pressure, they couldn't do anything. And hopefully they can, next year, kind of learn from that experience and build, because even McCutchen, as good as he was, when the race got tight, he started to taper off there.
Yeah. Juan Rodriguez is another one. They did trade for him. In his last 6 starts, he went 3-0 with a 3.28 ERA. So I think these guys are older, but I think they still have enough in the tank where you have Burnett and Juan Rodriguez at the top of that rotation next year. A couple of veterans is pretty good. But like you said, James McDonald, I mean, that was about as mysterious as you could be. He just completely fell off the face of the earth in the second half. And out of nowhere, he had one tremendous start where he threw like 6 shutout innings, I think, or something like that. But besides that, he was completely lost in the second half. So there's a lot of questions here and everything. I think one of the things, the problem is, you talk about Hurdle, you talk about Huntington, whatever the GM, but the problem is you got to have Bob Nutting step up and you got to pay somebody. He's talking like we got to figure out what's going on down the stretch. We got to, after the season, we got to find out what it is. Well, get some players. You got to get some better players. That's what you have to do. I mean, that's what it is to me. Sign a big time free agent, some batter, someone, take some money, and spend. Some guys are going to get more money anyhow next year. Garrett Jones and maybe Hanrahan if you keep him, and other guys are going to get Walker. They're probably going to get an upgrade in money. So he might just say, well, I don't want to spend too much more. So what we have is good because we did it. We were 16 games up. But I think over the course of the season, you're about where you're at.
That's the thing. It's like he's so content with, let's just go. And the good teams, I don't care who they are, even the teams with not a lot of money, like the Pirates, they're going to spend and they're going to get somebody, and they have to test that market, and they haven't done it, and I don't know if they're going to do it, but
yeah, I don't know who's going to be out there, but I think you got to look at it, right?
You got to do something. I mean, you can't. They say, "Oh, we're not accepting. This is unfair to our fans." Well, you got to kind of, anybody can talk, and you got to put some actions there, and he has not
put your
done
money
that.
where your mouth is,
and that's just the way it is. But I guess we would like to kind of give our picks to wrap it up, because
postseason picks. I will say I do want to point out that the one good thing I predicted at the beginning of the year, that if you let Alvarez play all year, he would give you a great year, maybe 30 homers, and he did do that. I'll give him credit real quick and give myself a plug. But postseason. What do you have? Who do you have in the World Series, and who do you have winning it?
The New York Yankees, and I'm going to go on a limb, the Atlanta Braves.
The Braves
the Yankees,
with Chipper Jones,
the Yankees in 6. Just too much power, I think.
I will say this: Texas won't, because they're collapsing like the Pirates almost. They got swept in the last series, lost the division title. They got to play Baltimore now. I like Detroit. I think that they came close last year. I think they're going to take a step this year. And I kind of like the Reds. I think it's going to be Detroit and Cincinnati. And I'm going to say that Cincinnati wins that in about 6 games. I like Cincinnati a lot. So that's what I say. We'll wrap it up here. We'll see who's right. And next year we talk to you, I guess. But that'll do it for 2012 on Bucco Banter. Talk to you next year.